Hey there, creepy peeps. I'm Nightmare Maven, and I like to talk about horror. If this is your first time here, hello, welcome. I hope you stick around for a bit. If you don't, that's cool. I'm kind of scared of me also. And if you're a creepy peep, welcome back. I love you. I'm totally not playing favorites. So it has been a week since I last posted a video, and I just want to thank you guys really quick for your understanding of my absence over the weekend. I just felt a little bit overwhelmed. I wasn't being a functioning adult and scheduling enough me time to chill. So, bad Vicky. Before we really start this video, I want to say a quick thank you to my creepy patron peeps for supporting my channel. Thank you guys so much. If you want to find out the perks to being a creepy patron peep, the link is always in the description. So it's Women in Horror Month, and I haven't done anything to celebrate that. So we're gonna remedy that today with this video. But I saw my friend Lizzie, aka Carnage Candy, do this awesome video idea where she listed her favorite good for her horror movies. I wanted to make a list of my own, but obviously this is her idea, so all credit to her. I'll link her video up here and also in the description so you can subscribe to her, because you should. So Lizzie explains it really well in her video, but just in case, what I mean by good for her movies is a reference to a meme, actually. Specifically talking about movies though, a movie that we might say is like a good for her movie is one that is feminist. You probably already picked that up. And they just generally feature a female protagonist who kicks the patriarchy's ass. Not in like an overt way. Really, you'll get it when I start to list movies. So here are my top 8 good for her, mostly all horror movies. Why 8? Don't worry about it. So coming right in at number 8 on my list is Black Swan, which follows Nina, an extremely committed ballet dancer who struggles to maintain her sanity after winning the lead in her company's upcoming production of Swan Lake. So among other things, Black Swan explores this idea of women being pitted against each other in society slash the patriarchy being represented in the movie by the ballet company's director, who keeps insisting that Nina explore her sexual nature in order to accurately play the part of the Black Swan. Nina is constantly being compared to Lily in the movie, who naturally embodies like the Black Swan persona. We also have little side bits about the retired ballet dancer Beth McIntyre, who is cast away because she is too old, and you know, there's those really horrifying scenes where she harms herself because she's no longer considered of value anymore because she's too old. I did put it so low on the list only because Nina has to die in order to achieve her version of perfection. So that's all. Number 7 on my list is the Suspiria remake, which follows, wouldn't you know it, another dancer, Susie, who becomes the focus of the coven that runs the dance school that Susie attends. I love this remake because not only is the dancing gorgeous, I also really love how they use the choreography to reflect the spells that the coven is casting. But Susie revealing herself to be Mother Suspiriorum is the ultimate flex. I was literally just like punching the air in victory when she says, "I am she." And that ultimately ends up being my favorite difference between the original and the remake. So in the original, I feel like it's kind of implied that Susie gains her powers only after she kills Marcos. But in the remake, it's more of like a reveal. So I feel like you can kind of assume that Susie has been Mother Suspiriorum for a while. Like, she doesn't need anybody to give her her power, she already has it. And don't get me wrong, I do also enjoy the original, before anybody comes for me in the comments. Popping in at number 6 on my list is Teeth, which is about a teenager, Dawn, who discovers that she has a rare physical advantage when she becomes the object of sexual violence. I feel like this one is pretty obvious. I think it's just one of those movies where its reputation precedes it, and most people already at least know kind of what the crazy aspect of this movie is without even seeing it. But just in case you don't know yet, spoiler, I've already spoiled like every movie so far. Dawn has vagina dentata and wields this power, and it is awesome. It's a great movie, it's a funny movie, and it very much portrays women reclaiming like our sexual power from a patriarchal society that wants us all to be like modest and proper, lest we, you know, I don't know, dress in whatever we want to, whatever makes us feel comfortable, because we may come off as a slut. Number 5 on my list is the only one that I don't think is officially a horror movie in any sense of the word, and that is Knives Out, which, contrary to every single summary on this movie that I could find on the internet, is about Marta, the caretaker of renowned mystery writer Harlan Thrombey, who dies under mysterious circumstances. Detective Benoit Blanc is called in to investigate, but Marta could be implicated in Harlan's death unless she solves the mystery herself. Seriously though, this was not the reason I put this on the list, but it ended up kind of just being like a little side thing I got annoyed at. That every short summary, obviously the synopsis includes Marta, but every like little short summary I could find about the movie was just like, it just makes it seem like it's all about Benoit Blanc. I get it because Daniel Craig is such a big name, but come on. Anyways though, the movie to me is about Marta, who has to deal with Harlan's family, who are just a bunch of uppity, ungrateful, rich folks who have benefited greatly from Harlan's hard-earned fortune. And they of course get mad at Marta, who is the only person who has treated him with respect and not as a bank. She ends up inheriting everything, his entire fortune. It's all very hashtag eat the rich, as Marta realizes even the family members she considered friends are assholes and she doesn't owe them anything. Like, just the last shot of the movie of Marta, who is part of an immigrant family, just standing out on this balcony of this mansion, looking out over Harlan's family, who have just lost that entire fortune, and it's just, what a power move. Next on my list at number 4 is The Invisible Man. The movie follows Cecilia, who manages to escape from her abusive ex, but afterwards he ends up taking his own life. However, Cecilia is not convinced he is really gone, so she sets out to prove that Adrian is still alive. It's just that he found a way to become invisible. I feel like the movie is a pretty straightforward example of trauma, especially when it comes to emotionally abusive relationships, because that's a sort of trauma that's not always the easiest to see. Like, there's like literally see, because there are not always physical like manifestations of that sort of trauma, which it just works so well that it's a movie about invisibility. You get it. So Cecilia has to obviously take matters into her own hands when Adrian starts destroying her relationships with her friends and family and just destroying her life in general, because nobody believes Cecilia that he's still around. They all think she's just going crazy. We also have no choice but to stand the way she takes him down. Like, maybe it could be considered low-hanging fruit, but whatever. It's simple and effective. The way she just slits his throat, literally like taking away his voice and therefore his power over her, just good for her. Good for her. All right, breaking into the top 3 here, we have Jennifer's Body, which we all know follows Jennifer, who is wrongly sacrificed as a virgin and comes back as a succubus to get revenge on the men who wronged her. I feel like everyone is finally starting to like realize and agree that this movie and Megan Fox in general has just been done so dirty by marketing and just media as a whole. Which I feel like this whole situation ends up being a little bit ironic, because like the marketing for this movie pushed Megan Fox's sex symbol status as a selling point for this movie. And the actual movie itself is about her character getting back at all of the men that only view her as a sex symbol. Just sucks that so many of us, myself included, were conditioned to just hate on Megan Fox for such a long time, therefore hate on this movie for such a long time, but I'm glad everybody's coming around to it now. Alrighty, at number 2 for me is Frankenhooker, which follows Jeffrey, who loses his girlfriend Elizabeth in a freak accident, but manages to bring her back to life using the body parts of prostitutes. However, Elizabeth doesn't come back with her mind fully intact and starts behaving like the women that she's made out of. I feel like I haven't really seen this one mentioned yet when people are talking about good for her movies. The overall theme of the movie, and especially the ending, just exude good for her energy. Jeffrey rebuilds Elizabeth in an image that he finds pleasing, and he's horrified when she comes back to life and she isn't acting like herself anymore. She's acting like the sex workers that he killed to use their body parts. Like, basically, he wants her personality to be the same, but he just wants her to be like society's standard of hot. So when Elizabeth finally gets her mind back and she fully becomes herself again, she is horrified, naturally, by what Jeffrey did to her. And then at the end of the movie, he gets decapitated. So Elizabeth brings him back. But the method that Jeffrey uses apparently only works on female body parts. So she rebuilds him using female body parts, and it's just a brilliant ending. And finally, my absolute favorite good for her horror movie is The Witch, which follows a Puritan family who is forced out of their community and must survive on their own, but they end up being torn apart by witchcraft, possession, and black magic. Poor Thomasin in this movie. Like, this poor girl, she's just like going through puberty. She's becoming a woman, and her reward for that is just being blamed for everything. Every little thing that goes wrong is Thomasin's fault. Like, if the way Thomasin's family treats her is not like the best example of how society treats women, I don't know what is. Like, literally from all aspects. Her little brother sees her as a sexual object. Sorry, I had a hard time getting that sentence out because it's gross and it kind of makes me want to puke. Then we have the mother, who's just clearly acting jealous of her daughter, you know, being younger and therefore prettier. So finally, by the end of the movie, Thomasin has had just fucking enough. And I know some people are conflicted about the ending, but I like it. I think it's almost like a warning that if women keep getting pushed too far, ultimately gonna go that extra step, even if it kind of makes us into a villain, if we have to sign a deal with the devil or whatever. Metaphorically, of course. Unless. There you have it. Those are my favorite good for her horror movies. Let me know your favorite ones in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. It lets me know what you like and what you don't like. If you found this video enjoyable and you want to stick around for a little bit longer, why don't you subscribe? Become a creepy peep today. I post 2 new videos a week on Wednesdays and Saturdays. So I will see you next week with a new video. Until then, stay strange. Bye.